we're taking over.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's still morning,
everybody. Yeah, it's still morning. It still counts.
Yep.
On our time, anyways.
Yeah, at least our time. Yeah. If you're where Omar is, it's probably the middle of the night. So.
Yeah. If it's still the 12, I don't know what it is right now. I think it's 12 hours, 12 or 13. So he should be asleep. But Omar and friends are all in Japan. They made it there, even though they had some delays.
Yep.
Which I was worried about. At least this time it was for weather, not for like weird airport stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's happened to everybody. But they've made it. I know for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any photos yet. I'm like, guys.
Yeah, the only thing that his mom posted some on Facebook, and that's the only way I've seen photos.
That's
what his mom's posted. Yeah, which is wild.
But... Oh, yeah, I've seen a photo. I guess I could of Omar and Tina on the train. Let me see if I can find that one. Oh.
And did you hear that Tina and Manuel, which is Omar's brother, for those of you who aren't familiar, they met one of the producers for X-Men 97 while they were over there.
Already? Yeah. What have they done?
So Omar was so mad because he was supposed to go to they were going to the X-Men store or the Marvel store, and they both didn't want to go in. And then that guy, I guess, was like, no, you guys really should have gone in. And he talked to them. But I was like, wait, if he had heard you, Omar, why did he say hi to you?
That's really funny. This is the one picture I have that's proof
that they made it. They're alive.
Yeah. And to which Elliot responded, blending in seamlessly.
Yes. You can't even tell that they're tourists at all.
No gaijin there. No foreigners.
Right.
It's all family, and then like Tina and Heather basically. They're honorary family.
Yeah. Just his brothers, and then Tina and Heather. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. We just bought tickets to go in April.
Oh, nice. That'll be a lot of fun. Just you and Elliot, or you guys going with other people?
A couple other friends are going to come too. So we basically just like, we're going. If everybody else shows up, because tickets were like $1,050 out of Cincinnati. So I was like,
for two people or just 1,000 a person?
1,000 person. But that's still really good.
It's still, I guess for going to,
and for only one stop. So like, I always budget $1,400 and plan to spend under $1,200. So
yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
Don't join the Yakuza.
We'll see News Foodie Channel when he does.
Yeah, Tina's over it. That's good because I've taught Tina and Heather Japanese, so they'll be able to help along.
Let's hope they all do well. I'm friends with all of them on Duolingo, and I know they all have been practicing.
Yeah, Tommy's been keeping up his streak. We've been streak friends, so I'm just like, are you still doing it while you're there?
Exactly.
Watching you.
And then when he gets back, he'll go back to his Spanish again, probably. Hello, Bar. How are you? How is everyone doing this fine Saturday?
I'll let you answer. How are you doing first?
How are you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. It has been a good week so far. Even not that great. I didn't do a Reels talk this week, but for those who don't follow me on socials, my oldest dog, we had to put him down on Monday, so we were dealing with that. That was pretty rough for us because it was me and my husband's first baby, essentially. 14 years. It's like a marker of our relationship. I literally
for sure.
So it was a pretty the week didn't start out great, but I got to lay out yesterday, so that was wonderful. And I was telling Maddie, read some strange body horror novellas, and I finally read, have you ever heard of Beyond the Trees Where Nobody Can See?
It's on my list to read. Everyone's recommending it.
So. It's like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like Berenstain Bears meets Dexter, and that's like the one you could ever think.
That's all I did actually Tuesday after surgery. So I need something to watch. I had invasive nose surgery, so if I seem a little off, it's because I am in pain. To get some really gross stuff removed from my nose. The biggest she's ever seen, my doctor said.
That's impressive to have the biggest.
She was really stoked. She was really excited about it. But so I just watched season 1 of Dexter. I'm like this. I was like, I've seen Dexter. It's just easy to have on. I'm like, that's pretty sad, but that's like the comfort watch. Like,
that is a weird comfort watch.
Oh yes, Dexter. Thank you.
Oh man.
Everybody agrees. It's a really good run.
Yeah, Beneath the Trees. That's not Beyond. Beneath the Trees. It's great. It's so great. So it's
the world of Richard Gere.
Yes, that's probably more accurate. I was trying to think of what cartoon, but the Berenstein Bears is what I always think of. So that's probably why I said it. But yes, I read the first 6 issues, which kind of wraps up the story. I'm assuming there will be more.
Oh man, I want to see Thelma.
Thelma. No, I don't think I've seen Thelma.
It's about that old lady who, she's like, I think like a Facebook scam or something, but she's like $1,000 or 10,000 or something. And so she decides to go out on her own a little like motorized scooter and get revenge. I think it's out this week, I think.
In theaters or like on
theaters?
Okay. Well, I did get to see Inside Out 2.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so good. But I was like, the more realistic thing is that mom also has anxiety always in her mind constantly.
So
like
sad.
Most mothers don't got it together. Like it's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, that depresses me. That was great. What I do think you should watch, if you haven't yet, which I'm sure you've heard of it, but if you haven't, I'm going to be delighted in telling you. I think you should do it for Reels Talk.
Yes.
Is the new Suicide Squad Isekai anime that just dropped this week on HBO Max. The first 2 episodes dropped.
Okay.
We watched it all yesterday. I love it.
Is it good?
The animation's really good. The music is very awesome. Cowboy Bebop-esque, so they obviously know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
The characterization is great because they're, it's a Suicide Squad. The government's trying to get into another like fantasy world to get access to resources.
Yeah.
So they send over Harley, King Shark, Clayface, my favorite,
nice.
Deadshot, and I'm forgetting one. Nope, it's gone. There's another person there, but then there's some other like DC characters that show up, and so some of them have like anything magic and stuff. But it's really fun.
Hold on, I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
You're frozen to me, but that could
bring yourself back because I was like, I don't like that picture.
I never know until chat tells me who is frozen.
Oh, I'm still 100% frozen.
But I can hear you
with my internet. Yeah, it's so weird. Anyways, yes, I have not seen that yet, which I do want to see that now that it's out.
Bar asked how Japanese Harley's. I really like her. Now you're getting a Harley that is with Joker right now, and so that sucks. But I have a feeling my like theory of the show is somehow the Joker will come back as a bad guy. She'll beat him up. She'll get over it, right? That's my hope. This is made by a Japanese group, so I feel like they were like, oh, they probably liked that weird Joker Harley thing. So I hope that fixes itself. But she's really cute, and he's not there with her except for like in the beginning as an intro. Yes, also excited for Long Legs, that new Nicolas Cage serial killer movie. First like Hot Pockets. She'll be back. Oh, you're fine after the first episode. You see like 5 seconds of her. She may mention pudding or whatever, but like when she's in the other world, it's not about that at all. But I do recommend. I think they're doing a very good job with it. So if you are an anime person, or even if you're not, I think you'd like it. I don't know yet. I haven't seen any Ivy. I'd like for her to show up. We're not involving all of the Gotham people yet. I think maybe Enchantress is going to show up. Katana is there. I don't know about the rest. But I will say the ending theme has some really great Amanda Waller dance scenes. Oh, Peacemaker's the other one that shows up. I forgot. Peacemaker shows up. I hated him in the Suicide Squad movie. Loved him in the show. Loved him in the comic book. So I think it's very good. So I went from being a big villain to just being Harley's girlfriend. I think no. I can see people think that because of the show and because, Harley gets a lot more of her own comic books, right? And so Poison Ivy tends to appear just in comic books with her. But that's changed recently with the new Poison Ivy comic book series, which is really, really good. Bar will tell you, I will tell you. So incredibly well done. And they're really getting back to the root of Poison Ivy being a villain and a complicated one, a very interesting one. So I definitely recommend that if you're out of it, you've been out of the way for a while, definitely checking out the comic. Amanda is going to drop out and drop back in. She's restarting her computer. She says to restart her computer. It's saying it's not registering her equipment. So we will see how this goes. Again, I am recovering from surgery, so I seem a little odd or off. It's just me doing my best here. So thanks for chilling out. Let's talk comic books, everybody. What are y'all reading? Hope something bad happens to Wall in Absolute Power. My Adventure Superman Suicide Squad Isekai. Man, she's all over right now. It's pretty wild. I really like My Adventures with Superman. I absolutely love the colors of your shirt. Thank you. This is a one-piece shirt that I found at like a convention. So it's got a lot of like I can't see which my sides are which sides. All like the devil fruits on them. Favorite live action superhero movie? That's hard. I want to say Wonder Woman, the first Gal Gadot one, but because it's because of that and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that really got me into comic books. That's the reason I'm here, honestly. I watched those and I said, hey, Omar, all right, I'm in. Let me read stuff. And now I've been doing this for like 6 years. So I guess you could say that's probably what it is. I don't know, but I love so many. I love movies. So it is hard to choose just one. Oh, thank you. Apparently, once this is fixed, my voice might change. So by this time next week, my voice might be a little bit different online. So we'll see how that works. At least I don't have any bruising. Favorite Wonder Woman villain? You know, that's hard because I feel like there's a lot of Wonder Woman villains, but I think a lot of hers aren't as iconic sometimes as the other main superheroes. You know, I think Batman's very easy to list out. Superman's very easy to list out. And I think for Wonder Woman, it was a little more difficult. Because I think for me, my favorite villains of hers are when they are Greek mythology based. Those are the ones that I like the most. I think they're the most interesting. Maybe Medusa, just because of the Greg Rucka run. I really, really love that whole arc. Amanda is trying to return. Hey, I saw your face move.
I think, yes, I'm back. I don't know. I had to restart my entire computer. Usually that works. As someone who's now been in cybersecurity for like 2 years, I've realized that all it comes down to is restarting your computer. So sorry about that, guy.
Yeah. What's your favorite superhero movie, Amanda? Live action.
Like ever?
Yeah, I know that's hard, right? It's a hard question.
Oh, shoot. Ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't. I mean, yes, my face is moving. Shonda's like, I am now frozen. I did not like the way I was frozen before. It was not pleasant. Let's see. My favorite probably will still be Spider-Man 2, the one with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll still be my favorite superhero film of all time. And yes, I have watched some of the older ones with Omar for Reals Talk. And it definitely, like, you had to have grown up with some of that stuff in order to really appreciate it, I think.
Yeah. I feel that way about a lot of movies. People show me them, like, I'm sorry. It's just like there's nothing I can do. Yes, I know that you have nostalgia for this. I don't. The exception is Christopher Reeve, Superman. Yeah, that was spot on. That man.
He was perfect.
That man is so handsome and charismatic.
I know.
I cannot get over it.
He is. Which have you seen the pictures of James Gunn?
Looks good so far.
He looks like a young Henry Cavill. Like he looks like Henry Cavill. Like,
you know, with everything DC live action, I just keep my expectations so incredibly low.
That's probably smart.
I just can't get hurt again. If it's animated, I feel pretty good about what I'm gonna get. But if it's live action, I'm like, I just have to expect nothing.
Yeah, right. Expect nothing and
I
get
just
the
really
best.
Can't. Oh, a superhero movie that wasn't good but is a guilty pleasure. That's hard because
What's your definition of not good? Because like some people,
I mean, Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is awful, but I'll still watch it
so much.
Apparently, Madam Web is everyone's guilty pleasure because that thing is
still haven't seen it.
number 2 on Netflix, and I don't want Sony. I don't want Sony to get any ideas, but I mean, it's It's not a good film. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a good one. Yes.
Oh,
I
very good.
agree with that. I will watch that, even though it's not good. I mean,
what's the one?
And yes, Catwoman for the basketball scene alone, Shonda Sook, just so I can hear that.
What's that movie with William H. Macy where he's got a shovel?
Mystery Men is my favorite.
Mystery Men.
Oh, Mystery Men with like Ben Stiller.
Yes, that's the one.
The All-Star song came from. That's the whole reason we have Smash Mouth's All-Star.
It's the best.
Yes.
That movie is really good.
It is a good film. I like that one too.
Like critically didn't do well. I assume Mystery Men. I don't look at ratings a lot.
Well, what about Batman? I mean, you like.
Oh, I love the.
Yeah, I was like, you like plenty of those 90s Batman that were not critically acclaimed by any means.
I do. Thank you for the reminder. I love them. I love all of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't. Batman, Robin too. I don't care. I love them.
Yeah. I feel guilty for watching 2 hours of that. So do I, but I still did it.
2 hours long?
It is. It's a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to wait till I can drink again because I just don't think
it's something else. Hey, like for what it's worth, Mystique's Scandalous song is in it, and when it came on, I died because the only other time I've heard that song in a film was in Catwoman, another female-led superhero film that was actually from the 90s. That was not great. So now I have a feeling like if you put that song in a film for a superhero film that's female-led, it's not gonna be a good film.
I will say I am more eager to watch Madam Web for the first time than to ever rewatch Justice League ever again.
Same.
No,
I know.
Thank you. I don't care what iteration it is. I don't care, you guys. I don't like it.
I'm just not
I continued not to like it.
Yeah. We watched the Snyder cut and both of us agreed, I think, that it was not for
I hated it. I was like, this is just action sequences are cool, but like you're not getting the character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not getting the characters.
Yeah.
Me. Like that's not them.
And then I thought about Rebel Moon is the same kind of thing.
Oh Lord, this man.
I know. I try to forget that.
It's for other people and that's okay. It's just not for me. I'm not gonna yuck your yums if that's your guy.
Oh, I know. We like plenty of stuff that a lot of people do not like.
Oh, I like a ton of stuff people don't like, and that's okay. Yeah.
That's how I live my life. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I enjoy that.
Same thing. And I love All-Star.
Yeah, All-Star's a great song. Rest in peace.
What I also love is Digimon the movie, where they took 3 separate movies and put them together, and then they gave it a soundtrack that had All-Star in it and a bunch of 90s music. Had nothing related to that movie. Incredible.
But they knew what they were doing.
I haven't seen Morbius either, and I just don't think I'm going to do it.
Oh, God. I did forget about Morbius, which you can probably watch streaming somewhere now, too, for free.
I can't look at that man either. I think that's the big. I just can't.
Is it Jared Leto? Because he's cult leader. Like, yeah, he's cult leader style.
Yeah, he's so creepy.
And after I've seen him live, like perform as like a emo band, I realized you're just an actor pretending to be an emo band. You're not a real This is
he's doing it to be a cult leader.
Yeah,
allegedly. Sorry, guys.
Allegedly, not Ricola, but
your legend cult with the island where you all wore the white shirts.
That's where, yes, exactly. Him and that dance cult from TikTok. They can all
Oh, yeah. Man, that documentary was good.
That was a good documentary, but I still don't know. Like, probably is a cult. I don't know.
I would say so.
The funny thing is like, before I knew this, Corey and I used to watch, like, all those dancers, because we're big into, like, So You Think You Dance and stuff. So we've watched their videos on Instagram, and a lot of them were from, like, So You Think You Dance and stuff. So I was like, now I feel bad watching these videos and realizing that these people may be like brainwashed, and now I feel bad watching them.
I can't look away. It's like the Nixium documentary. That was my thing.
I love documentaries like that.
They're so juicy.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's going to do it again. Because every time you're like, I know what's happening next.
Mm-hmm.
You got the money in the tower. There's only one way it's going to go. And they do it every time. And they're like, I got caught. Yes, you did.
Yes,
what do you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We're getting Shrek 5.
Yeah. We were talking about that on Reels Talk last week about the number of, well, not Shrek, but the number of Disney remakes or sequels they're doing now, because I think they assume original stories aren't going to work any longer and that we need to just do like Toy Story 5 apparently is a thing, and maybe another Incredibles, and which for
the
me,
Mufasa movie.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
I was like, no. If it was 2D animated, maybe.
But
I'm not going to see this movie.
And it is still going to have James Earl Jones because he sold his voice, so now they can still use him for as Mufasa gets older. They can still use James Earl Jones' voice, even if he's not going to be.
I don't know.
Yes.
I am certain they fought. I've never. Okay, so I have seen Blade.
So, yeah.
And I have played all of Midnight Suns. And so that is as far as I get with knowledge of them. But they do fight and have some like tiffs in Midnight Suns, which is, to me, I think a top 5 comic book video game. Gail Simone was playing it recently and fell in love with it. And if it's one where you like the characters hanging out, that's the one. I'll say it again. Nothing is better than Blade starting a book club because he has a crush on Captain Marvel and he wants to hang out with her. It's great. And then Captain America joins. He's like, oh, I didn't really mean for you to like make it a thing. But Captain America can't read the room. And then Wolverine joins and he just brings like pulp action like novels. And they have a little book club. It's the best game. And there's matching t-shirts. And everybody hangs out. It's the best game. It's so good.
Who made that's amazing.
Magic is there. You've got Ghost Rider, you've got Nico Minoru, you got Doctor Strange, you've got Iron Man. Iron Man and like Robbie Reyes have like a little like mechanic shop thing with Spider-Man in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. 10 out of 10.
See, that's why I need to play more.
And Morbius is there.
And Morbius is there.
But I like him in there. You fight vampires. Deadpool's there. Storm shows
I'm sure
up.
he's
I don't
better
know.
as a video game comic book character than he is as Jared Leto. I mean, that's
I just stop playing Jared Leto and things. Nobody's asking for it. Stop. Because I'll see a trailer. I'm like, oh, this movie looks really good. And then he's like, I'm Jared Leto. I'm Predator. And I'm like, can we not? Stop it.
We don't need him. Yeah.
I wanted to see this.
The fact that we have a Morbius movie and didn't get the new Blade one yet is really depressing to me because I don't think we'll ever get the Blade movie at this point because they can't keep a director to save their life. And Mahershala Ali is just getting older and I don't know what's going to happen now.
They're putting Jared Leto in Trump. Stop this.
Are they really?
Stop.
I mean, is anyone asking for him? Like after he won his Oscar, he won his Oscar for Dallas, great, and then then we kind of realized that Jared Leto's kind of meh. So why is he still?
Well, and he's a bad like co-actor. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing. Like he's just a good co-worker.
Yes.
And I think people don't think about that enough in any industry. Like, oh, but I love his work. But he's just a bad co-worker, and we shouldn't reward that. I don't care if like I'm a genius.
I know. I'm gonna be in character. Yeah, that whole Suicide Squad. I remember the stories from that, and that made me think. Okay, guys, we don't need to do that to be there's plenty of people who don't go into method acting who are fine actors who win plenty of Academy Awards. I don't think we need to go that route to make everyone uncomfortable.
Mash has a cool costume, but I don't know a thing about her. I didn't either until again. Midnight Suns, one of my favorite video games of all time, and now I'm obsessed.
She's do like so Magic.
Cool.
There's a character I want to see on screen. I mean, we did. Anya Taylor-Joy played a great Magic. I just don't think we'll ever see that iteration again.
No, I want the whole look, and I want to see her in her like
element.
Yeah. Like I'd like that some more.
Are we doing an Alphabus announcement soon? I don't think so. Not for me and Maddie. It would not.
If it does happen, it's going to be because of this bit that's been running on this channel for so. That's the only reason this is ever going to happen. Is because of that this bit. Could it be?
This stream sponsored by Midnight Suns. It might be at this point.
I would like to be sponsored by Midnight Suns. I would like to be sponsored by the Shonen Jump app because the fact that I can pay $3 a month to read everything by Shonen Jump, like 100 chapters a day, that's insane.
That's fantastic.
And the UI works, unlike a lot of digital comic book places. Looking at you, Marvel.
Or finding a good comic book reader. Just it's so
now
hard.
that Comixology is gone. I mean, basically gone. You know, it's
there, on but Kindle, but it's not real. Yeah.
It's
basically Basically Amazon.
I'm sure I've answered this before, but it's always fun. How'd you get into comic books?
This channel.
Yeah, same.
I mean, like, yeah, honestly, when I was younger, I never read comics. I mean, I was really into the X-Men TV show when I was like 8 or 9. I collected the trading cards because I thought that was cool. Because when you're in the 90s, we collected everything. You know, Pogs, we collected Pogs. We collected trading cards. We collected Tamagotchi. We just collected. That was our thing.
And I still do.
Yeah.
We both still do. Nothing has changed.
Both. Yeah. Now it's just more expensive because of inflation.
Way more expensive.
Exactly. But yeah. And then, but I was more of a, you know, prose novel type of girl.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. And then I wanted to understand more about the magical world of the MCU. So Omar said, well, you should read X, Y, and Z. And then, hey, you should come on my channel and do a show with Maddie and me. And then there you go. That's how it started.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up reading manga, so much manga.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always read comics in some form. And again, a lot of prose as well. But manga first. The first like comic book I really read was Fables. I read that, all of it.
Yeah, good comic.
And yeah, the movie, like Wonder Woman came out, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out, and the hyperfixation set, because that is what happens with my life. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, Omar, I'm ready. He's like, okay, here's a tablet. Literally, like, here's a tablet. I put on a ton of comic books. Here you go. Go ahead and read Annihilation.
Yep.
Which I love. Which is, interesting pick to give to somebody. I don't know that I would technically give the same, but it worked perfectly for me as a Guardians fan to then jump into cosmic Marvel before anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
And I fell in love. And every time I was like, I'm not going to read this comic book character, I would read it and be wrong and obsessed. And it's just continued to happen. Because I always said I'd never be a comic book person. I was like, that's going too far. I don't have time or money. That's over. Yes. I said something about D&D. That's over. You know, never say never.
Yeah. And once you find the way to do it where you can actually enjoy it without it breaking the bank, that helps too.
Yeah. And you just have to find your way in. Like,
yeah. It's
a different place now. The fact that you and I are on here as two ladies.
I know. Chatting comic books and comic book movies and TV shows.
Because now I go into stores and I don't, it is, people will say it's not true, but it is very true. I think, earlier in our lives, and like Tina's attested to this, that like, they're not really always female friendly spaces. They're still not often. It's not always like.
No, it's different.
It's geared with the old fans in mind. So than new people a lot of times. It makes it really hard to break into.
It does. Yeah. I can see it's like, so for me, what's really interesting is a lot of, because everyone knows I'm a huge Fall Out Boy fan, but a lot of people who follow me on TikTok and stuff, they don't read comic books, but they'll read them because, well, Pete Wentz is writing a comic book, right? Or Joe Trojan. 2 comic books now, 2 series.
Or they've gotten into Umbrella Academy because of Gerard Way back in the day.
But they're never like, but they need other people to like show them you can read outside of those people as well, because there is more. All Time Low has a comic book, which is not great, but it is a comic book and it's there. So there we go. But they need people who can show them that way, because I didn't have that when I was.
They just need to start and to know that there's not just like the big 2. I think people get stuck with that a lot. I think that's where, people like us can come in handy to be like, hey, there's a comic out there for anybody. It's the same with TV shows, same with anime, same with manga, video games. 100%. There is going to be one on these because it is a media, not a genre.
Yep.
Amy Chu's always good about saying that, which means there's going to be something in here that's going to work for you. It's going to appeal to you.
I've found so many comics that I think, when I was younger, I always thought it was just superheroes, but then you quickly realize, well, half of the TV shows and movies that we watch were comic books, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you and I watched all those, like, I read a lot of X-Men Evolution fan fiction, and I'm very open about that.
But like, I mean, Sweet Tooth is one, like, I don't think people would have thought it was a comic book. It was just someone's original idea, but it turns out to be a comic book, right? That was what it was originally. So I think a lot of people don't realize how important it is either, the genre, how many stories you can tell with a graphic novel. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, it's wild. X-Men Evolution is my X-Men. That was mine.
There we go.
How is there no news of what's going on Buffy universe?
That's a good question.
Who knows? Because it was a whole mess. As somebody who bought oh wait, I'm gonna answer this question, then we have to get to the ad. But
the ad. It's 11:30.
I had all the Dark Horse. I still do all the library editions and everything, but it went to Boom, and it was really promising at first. Like the designs were cool. Dan Moore was doing the art. That's how they trick you.
Yes.
Comic book people love to trick you by getting Dan Moore to do the art for 4 issues, and they're like, "Oh, but he's gone now; it's somebody else." And then it gets so bad every time. And they do weird stories where Xander's a vampire now or whatever, and they lure you in with promises and they throw it in the garbage. So I've had to like stop collecting Buffy at all. I'm like, I just have to. I've got to let it go. Yeah, because it got so bad. They're so bad.
That's awful.
I just wait. Hayden shows up, tells me what's going on, and I say,
yeah, right.
Okay.
I didn't miss much.
I have an email for ads. Okay.
Go ahead.
Segment of the video was sponsored by BD Cosmos, a Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com. The current offers, there's 25% off your order of $99 or more. There's free shipping everywhere in Canada for every book, for every order, $2,000 or more. $2,200. I'm sick. Sorry, BD Cosmos. $200 or more. You get free shipping everywhere in Canada. BD Cosmos' shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition. I did. It said I don't have to wink. I can do finger guns or eyebrow wiggles. I went with the wink.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To check out, let them know that Near Mint sent you, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers. Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask some questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, BD Cosmos, for more.
Thanks, BD Cosmos. And that is a $200 amount just for those
not $2,000
who are showing up a bit late to the channel. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, Buffy, Sarah Shaler was cast with Patch. I don't understand what this Dexter prequel is.
Why are we having it?
I don't know. Guys, I saw New Blood. Was it First Blood? What was the new one?
Oh gosh. Yeah, it was
okay. It was not great. It was just okay.
No.
And sometimes you have to let sleeping dogs lie and enjoy. It's not like Dexter ended on the best final episode.
No, it was so good for so long. And then they really
well, you know, the personal Dan and the personal stuff that happened in there too was not great.
There's someone here who's done a $2,000
you're buying MP. I mean, if you're buying like a $500 Omni that you're like that is limited,
yeah,
you can't find anywhere else. You buy 4 of them. I mean, that's $2,000.
I think I would just buy, because I'm in a manga anime kick right now. I think I would just buy so much manga. If I had $2,000, they're like, you can only spend on books. I'd be like, well, I would say 500 that would go to pros, but then I just buy so much manga.
Right.
I don't have a jingle.
Was there a jingle? BD Cosmos graphic novels. That's about all I've got. $200. What is that? Enter that giveaway right now.
That's true. They're gonna see that and be like, "We could do that."
Yeah. What?
Finally. In American comic books, superheroes were dominant for so long and still are to some extent. In Europe, they were mostly for male readers as well. I think it was manga that really changed it. I think so too. I think a lot of, and I remember even see that as manga was coming out, a lot of comic book distributors started to like change how they were marketing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even now we're not exactly there, but a lot of like webtoons now that those are getting published.
They are,
and like kind of smaller like standalone graphic novels tend to work better, I think, for younger readers. Mm-hmm. I say younger, like us included. I don't know how much longer I can say that, but
soon. I don't know. I'm getting out of that category soon.
Yeah, I think. I am, but I think you're more likely to get people to read those than you are those like smaller trades. If they look like a chunky graphic novel,
yes,
especially for like I think like female and queer people, I think are more likely to read those.
100%
than they are those trade. Of course, it's again how does one keep up with a big 2? I barely, and I used to be in it, and I was like, I can't anymore. I don't have the money.
I don't know how you do it. Yeah.
Unless somebody tells me, I have no clue.
It's really hard to keep up with it. But you know,
That's true.
Before I really got, the only thing I had read prior to Omar introduced me to comic books was not superhero comics. I actually remember going to my local Barnes and Nobles and picking up a manga, but it was like a romance manga, right? And it really fit like what I was needing at that time when I was 14 years old. And there's a bunch of them. So I read a lot of those. And then I read Betty and Veronica a lot too.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, my mom's boyfriend would buy me those, and I had like a huge bin. I'm sure it's somewhere in my mom's house.
Yeah.
At one point I will find it. But yeah, other than that, it was graphic novels for me. That's what was an easy entry point.
Oh yeah.
Like to get into. And I had to read one which I mean, it's an autobiographical one, Fun Home by what's their name? I can't remember.
Alison Bechdel.
Alison Bechdel, yeah, with the Bechdel test. I had to read that for college, if you can believe that.
Oh, absolutely, because that's one of those top like 10, like if you see a list of like top 10 graphic novels for libraries or whatever, or like college classes, it's Fun Home, it's Mouse, March, a lot of those. Good question. Are you both pro or anti reading digitally? I'm a mix. I read Beneath the Trees digitally, so it's easier. So I do like physical like that. Yeah. I remember buying a Kindle, I bought the Nook a long time ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to put all my books on here. But then I found it difficult just do with prose. And so I stopped. I was like, I just got to buy the physical book. But now I've come to see where it can be beneficial for like traveling and things like that. Yeah.
Because a big old Omni is really hard to carry around on your backpack if you're
yeah. And sometimes I'll own the book physically and I won't read.
Yeah, and that's happened with like World's Finest. I think I have it physically, but I read it digitally.
Infinite Crisis. I was like, this book is big.
I think I read Annihilation digitally, but I own it.
I own it physically, yeah. But at the time too, it was out of print, I think.
Yeah. And plus, it's I don't want to ruin the book either. I don't want to ruin it.
No, and I'm so scared I will.
Yeah, and I am a notorious dog ear of pages, so I know I should not be touching my comic books or my Omnis because
if it's a novel, I will.
Yeah, if it's a novel, I will do it. I'm not selling those things for anything. That could be worth anything. Like
those are. And chances are it's like my romance novels or whatever. I do prefer when I can to read physical. It just feels better, especially graphic novels. Anything that's like chunkier, but not like omnibus chunky.
Yes. Oh, speaking of romance novels, I guess romantasy. I do have to ask Melanie I let Melanie borrow A Court of Thorn and Roses, which is the first of that series. Well, I don't know. I'll find out. Because she didn't know what to bring with her to read on the plane. She didn't want to bring anything too big. And I was like,
oh, that's perfect.
I'd like to try fairy smut. May I introduce you to a whole world of book talk that you have never experienced?
I'm surprised she hasn't yet. Even my coworkers.
Well, because I'm sure the high schoolers that she teaches,
everyone's
because there's high schoolers that read Haunting for Adeline. And I'm like, you realize that there's guns.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. Because like Avatar, like is not as spicy. And
later,
it's okay. Yeah, later. Yes. Not later. As much as Fourth Wing, weirdly, but
yes.
But Haunting of Adeline, that book, man, people.
Something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong. Right?
I read it and I was like, "Are y'all sure? Are y'all?"
That's how I felt. I was like, I like dark romance, and I like a bad guy because, like, I like Damon from Vampire, but Zayd is another level. There's nothing good about this man.
I was like, let me try the second book. I was like, wow, no. Why? People love that, and I don't understand. And I thought I was like really cool.
Yes.
And I was like,
There's no.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the girls at my work are reading ACOTAR, which is cute. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Oh, and they're like, what do you read? And I was like, yeah, I love romance fantasy. I'm like, I can't tell them how. I can't be like, I'm going to Monsterotica Book Con next year. I'm not telling them that. I'm like, no, I love romance fantasy in like a real normal way.
Sure, me too.
Normal way. normal books.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Have you asked them if they like Tamlin yet? Have you read all of the ACOTAR?
Yeah, books? I haven't read the latest, like the last one, I think.
The last one, yeah.
But I know everything that happens.
Yeah, my favorite thing is everyone's like, Tamlin's such a good character. I was like, oh yeah, I bet he is. Wait till you get to the next book.
And then I'm like, read Fourth Wing now, please. Thank you.
Yes, read. So
thank you for the super chat. I didn't know we were getting a Ramna 1/2.
Neither did I.
But I love Ramna 1/2.
Is it already out, Jack Fairy, or is it coming out soon?
I'm down.
That'd be awesome to watch.
We have another one. Scotty G. Oh, did I miss that? Where was this? Scotty, you did a super chat and I missed it forever ago.
I got you. There we go. Thank you, super chat, Scotty G. Good morning, ladies. Can't stick around. Can catch you on the replay.
Aw, thank you,
We appreciate that.
Oh, you just did. I shouldn't see it.
Yeah, you'll be hearing a lot about romance novels, apparently. Oops. We know our audience. Also, apparently I'm going to jail from dog-earing pages in the chat, so.
I get it. I also feel bad about it when I do it, but
I feel terrible about it. I tried it, but it's hard to buy up bookmarks and find a proper bookmark.
How do people remember where they are?
I don't remember. I leave a bookmark somewhere in a book, then it gets shoved somewhere. I don't know. I
prefer receipts. If I could just have a receipt.
I use my receipts, yes, or tickets.
But I won't do it to comic books. That I'll promise.
No, that's what exactly, which is why I read them digitally.
The paper is uncomfortable to do it.
Yes, I will collect it, but I will not read it, because I don't want to ruin these things. They cost way too much money.
Oh my god, yeah.
A paperback ACOTAR versus my Infinity War Omni. I can't, there's things I can ruin and things I can't.
I prefer physical copies for comics, but I've definitely jumped in the deep end of audiobooks, though some authors and stories are better read than heard. Absolutely. Sometimes an audiobook will make a book so much better than it is being just read.
Agreed.
It can depend. It can also ruin one so fast.
Yes, it depends on what the voices. Like a lot of celebrities who do their own memoirs and stuff. I like listening to those because because I can hear it in their head how they would say it, but then when they actually do say it, it's
like Jeanette McCurdy. Oh, so good.
Yes, exactly.
Did you listen to Britney Spears' book with Michelle's?
We did. Corey wanted to listen to it. We listened to it on the way to I think Myrtle Beach, some trip we took. We listened to it and I was like, this is hard to listen to. And it's changing my opinion about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I
feel the same.
But it's hard to listen to some of that stuff.
We need to send bookmarks to the PO. The PO box in the description. You can send us bookmarks. Yes. I love bookmarks. I do. I just never have enough of them.
Here's our PO box. If you want to send Maddie and I bookmarks so that we stop ruining our books, you can send it to the Near Mint Condition PO box right here.
We need one of those criminal posters, wanted for dog-earing books. Please send postcards. We must stop these women. Who gave women the right to read books?
How dare they? Karsten, hello, Amanda. If you don't read them physically, why buy them physically? Because I like to have the physical copy, right? Because you don't know what can happen to a digital copy. We've kind of learned that with movies the hard way, right? There's, especially with the way they're not printing movies anymore. The same thing, especially with comics. We know that if things out of print, it may be a long time till we see it again. So at least if you have the print copy, you don't know what could happen to a digital copy. I've lost digital copies over the years.
And sometimes I want the money to go better to the creator as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I'll read something digitally and I may not read it physically forever. But when I have a chance to own a copy, I'd like to.
If I'm reading single issues digitally, but then I might want to collect it when it becomes a collected edition. Yeah. Why not buy the collected edition? Because I am not, I don't really buy the floppies. I don't do that because that's a lot. I don't know how to display them properly. There's a lot of, but then I will buy the collected edition when those comes out. So, yeah. Everyone has their reasons, I guess. I even got back into doing vinyls for music.
Oh, I love vinyls.
Yes.
But I'm back with I feel like this is the era of buying physical when possible.
I think
all possible. because you don't know, and this is video games as well. It's books, it's everything. Because like I have no idea when they're going to keep anything or if they're going to. Like you and I've talked about shows that I love, taken off from. You cannot get them anymore unless you pirate them. You cannot.
Nope.
Willow gone.
She did like
Pink Ladies. They had a finale 2 years later. Gone.
Yep.
That's crazy. And like, now I think about collecting anime and stuff like that. Like, I don't know when. So I'm trying to think. Okay, which ones are popping up to stay online? Which ones aren't? So which ones do I need to buy physical? Like, it's this like murder chart graph that I have to do.
Because you don't know. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah. And that's what did I see? Which has nothing to do with comics or anything, but it's also, and it just reminds me of how the thing about having things digitally is MTV News. They just completely removed their website, but also all of their archived news posts all completely gone, which is crazy. Which is like you're talking about 20 plus years of music news, which is not a big deal, I guess, compared to other things. But at the same time, you're losing out on music history as well. And if it can happen in music news, what else could it happen to?
Yeah, I'm thankful for people that are like archiving that.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that there are people doing that across the board for all sorts of media.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's been like the like lost VHS like there was some, I think it was on Disney or Nickelodeon. There was some movie. Elliot had watched it recently. They're like, oh, it was too scary. They couldn't show it again. And the only way that they had accessed this movie again was somebody happened to videotape it on VHS when it came out. Jim Gaffigan's in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they upload it to YouTube so people had that access to it again.
That's awesome.
How'd you meet Omar? Well, I think Amanda's is probably a similar reason.
How did I meet Omar? Let's see. I was dating his cousin for about 3 months, and he said, hey, will you come with me to my cousin's wedding? And I said, oh, sure. Let me just fly to Kentucky because I didn't live here. I lived in Pennsylvania. I flew to Kentucky and attended Omar and Melanie's wedding. And everyone kept saying, oh, you look like Billie Piper. And I was like, who's Billie Piper? I don't know who that is.
Which is hilarious now.
Which is hilarious because I didn't watch Doctor Who. And so that is how I met Omar and Melanie. Was at their wedding day. Yes. It was a great day for everyone. And then, 3 years later, me and my husband got married. So now I'm just stuck in this family forever.
Yeah. I think I first met him at the library Comic-Con that Heather threw.
Oh, yeah.
And so I met him there. And then I guess we just sort of all got to, I don't know how it all spiraled after that. I'm sure because this was shortly after I met Tia and Heather and we got close. And so I think it just sort of happened that way.
Yeah.
And sense. Now whenever there's anybody's holiday or birthday, all of us are at the same place. And then there's, you put together a lovely PowerPoint trivia game,
Yes, I do love a good trivia game about people. That's always, or things, whatever it is.
Super chat.
No, yes, Bruce. I know. Inside Out 2 will probably be very well. We can celebrate your victory until July 26th, and then we'll see how well Deadpool and Wolverine does.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
I'm so
It's a good month for movies. I have a lot on my list. Maxine comes out.
I've heard it's a really good ending to the whole that whole trilogy, so I'm very excited to see it and how it goes.
So excited for that. And of course, we'll all be seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, of course.
Yes, I will be seeing that.
We've all signed an invisible contract.
That must be.
You're not beholden forever to go see these movies.
I mean,
it's really good. It's
been such a long time since I've seen a Marvel movie in theaters. If you think about it.
Yeah, what was the last?
I don't count Madam Web. Okay, let's make that clear.
No.
I do not count that. But what was the last one?
There's something after Ant-Man.
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
That was the last one.
Oh, that was good actually.
Yeah, that was not like I thought it was fine.
I thought I had a great time with it.
Yeah,
it was. I laughed a lot. So
yes. But yeah, I don't know. No, Josh, I know Madam Web is Marvel, but it is not an MCU film. I don't care where Spider-Man fits into it. If that is Tom Holland's Spider-Man that's in Emma Roberts' stomach, I don't care. It's not the same thing. I refuse to believe that it's anything.
No, it's so dumb. Are you going to watch Despicable Me 4? I might if I go with my nephew or watch it later, but I won't go to theaters probably. I need to see a lot of movies to keep my movie club platinum status. But
for AMC?
Cinemark.
Cinemark, gotcha.
I need to get 15 more shows or 25 more tickets for the rest of the year. And I'm good. But I don't think I love School Me 1 and 2, honestly. But I am tired of Minions. But
I'm so tired of those things.
Honestly, probably be good. It's probably fine.
I'm sure it'd be fine.
You know?
This third one I don't remember much of.
He was a baby, right?
Maybe. I know they did a Minions one, like that was about the Minions.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't care about the Minions. I don't know if my kid needs to be watching these things either.
No, it's not really my scene. Inside Out 2 was, so.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like the Marvels. Oops. Haven't seen Madam Web yet. Nobody seems to like it. Yep.
Well,
Quiet Place.
I've heard really good things about that.
I'd like to see it.
Movie.
I'm so glad they're dating. I'm not usually involved in like.
Wait, in real life?
Aren't they dating in real life? I thought they were.
Who? Joseph Quinn and Lupita Nyong'o?
I thought they were.
Well, shoot. I don't know. Let me look this up. If they are, that's a beauty. Oh, that's the first thing that pops up too. Wow, when I Google it.
I was pretty sure.
Yeah, no, they aren't. They're not. According to the Stylecaster, they are not.
Oh, well, it's still fun.
It would be cool if they were, though.
We also have Twisters coming out, which I do want to see.
Oh, I'm seeing that out. Glen Powell, and then, of course, a 90s, like, staple. You know, I used to do that Twister ride at Universal all the time before they got rid of it. It was a great ride. I mean, it was not really a ride, but it was fun nonetheless.
Long Legs looks good. That's that Nicolas Cage serial killer one.
Yes.
Borderline movies looks. Oh, Trap, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I'm gonna watch it because of Josh Hartnett alone. I've already talked to us about this. I'm gonna do it.
The premise is great. Honestly,
the whole at a concert. I mean, it makes sense to me.
I did see. Did you see The Watchers by his daughter?
I did not yet. No.
I'll be interested to see what you think, because I would say 75% of that movie I really, really liked. And at the end, no.
No.
Man.
You're like, no.
No.
Okay, then I need to watch. I don't know. I'll probably end up waiting until it comes out on streaming, but I do want to see The Watchers, which makes
I like most of it. I have. It looks cool.
I have. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Some Nosferatu. Who Unstoppable or Bar Joseph Quinn is in A Quiet Place Day 1, but he was Eddie in Stranger Things. You know,
I had a deep obsession with him.
Same. I mean, he has short hair clearly in Quiet Place.
Much cuter.
It's hard to see, like, realize that he's like a completely different person. But
we have another guest here because Amanda's going to go to the Ren Fair soon, and I was like, I'm dying. I'm going to need somebody else on here. Lee is joining me.
Hey, Lee. How's it going?
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing excellent. I just got back from guitar practice. So.
Yeah, I was like, guys, just in case.
Just in case, yes.
Because I will pass out probably after this. But I was like, I need somebody to be here. What if I'm like,
yes,
yeah,
or I forget and I sneeze and I have to like run away to the bathroom because I'm not supposed to do that.
If you do sneeze, what happens? I don't know. Do we need to?
I don't know.
Okay, then let's not find out.
I'm not supposed to sneeze or blow my nose. It's very serious.
That is serious.
Yeah, it's like a Junji Ito movie in here.
Yes. I guess Bar was not a fan of Eddie. So
no, I love
one of my favorite characters. Oh, have you seen they started filming for Stranger Things? And Finn Wolfhard looks so old. And he's
30 now.
And I was like, guys, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Even Noah looks old. And I know that he has his stuff like.
He sure does.
11 is an adult married woman playing like a homeschooled middle schooler. Like it's.
I don't know what they're thinking about that. Why they took their time, I will never understand.
They say this as the generation that grew up on like Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill with like 45-year-olds playing high school sophomores.
Dawson was like 28 when he started that show, right?
Yeah. But see, it was okay because it all happened in like the same time span. So not like they aged. Like we're watching them supposed to be playing, but they've started out young. But
And then
because
like 2 years go by. Yeah.
But not time in the show hasn't passed that long. Just time in real life. So they're aging way faster than they're supposed to. It's kind of like, no, I think Harry Potter, they all seem to age pretty much on point.
They did okay, I think.
They went through puberty at those awkward in those on the movies where they should have went through puberty. I mean, Harry's voice cracked quite a bit in like Prisoner's Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. So,
the only show I ever watched where like everyone with the exact age they're supposed to be is Degrassi.
Yes, that's true.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, like in Red Dawn, Patrick Swayze is playing like a high school football player, right?
What?
And this man is like 45 years old.
Yep. That's so true.
Lee, question from the chat. Are you a decent human or do you dog your books? Because we had to tell them the truth about us.
Depends on the book. All right. So the Hellboy library editions. No, they don't get dog ear. They get a bookmark. The Unnatural floppies. Yeah, those bad boys. They get dog ear.
Dang.
There are different cases of comic books and regular books as well that merit different treatment.
Of course, that makes sense.
Of course, naturally.
Yes.
Okay. It is time for another ad read.
Ad read time! Woohoo! I guess I'm just getting all the Thor ones.
I'm glad you're hitting the gifts because I forget that they are there.
Yeah.
All right, there will not be a song, you guys.
Well.
Sorry. If you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat rate shipping of €12 for all EU countries. Bulletproof packaging. Interesting. I'm curious about that. Really bulletproof? And all emails will be answered within 24 hours. They also offer a superb selection of new titles and out-of-print books. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for some more great deals and rare titles. And exclusively for our viewers, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION, I believe that's all caps, at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collections in Europe. Ting!
Walt's Comic Shop, your home for reliable. Is that what they say?
She has a song.
Rival Comics. I'm very disappointed. I didn't realize they were in Berlin and my husband was just there. And I should have made him go while he was there.
Too bad.
I know.
Everybody. See, I don't have to ting if you guys are tinging.
Yeah, see y'all.
I love Maddie's radio voice. The radio voice is my nose is suffering. That's what it is.
Oh, it's too funny. All right. Oh, did we get hold on, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Super chat. Thank you for super chat. Who besides Gail Simone writes good and Sonja comics?
There's somebody Torin, Amy Chu.
I was gonna say Amy Chu, yeah.
Gail's my number one. But honestly, I've been pretty happy throughout with a lot of Red Sonja writers. I really like Roy Thomas. She's one of the ones that I feel like they get good writers for. Now, again, I haven't read everything, but I've read a lot, and I tend to be pretty happy across the board. Vampirella, much less so. Vampirella, it is a 10% I really like.
Oh, wow.
And the rest, I'm like, why did you give it to them? Why did you do this?
Is it the story, or is it the art, or is it a combination?
Both. It's both.
Oh, okay.
But and people be like, oh, she doesn't like sexy comic books. That's incorrect.
That is very incorrect. It's Maddie. You know.
That is not the reason.
Without naming names, you can find interviews with some writers of Vampirella after it's been announced that they're writing. And in the interview, they're like, I hate this character. This character's boring and cheesy and stupid. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're saying this to an interviewer.
Yeah. I won't name names. But I have a very poor opinion of that person, despite some good books that they've written because of that, honestly. Marco's great.
I don't understand why people would go on to talk negatively about a character that they're going to have to write about. I don't understand what the point is of doing that.
Amanda is 2 for 2 on jingles today.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, guys.
Don't be there for the final jingle, but we'll hear it in our hearts.
What's the final jingle?
At 1 p.m. I don't use a jingle for that, but I just have talked about cheapgraphicnovels.com. They didn't give me a lot of info. It just says you could do your own thing.
GCN, nope. CGN, nope. Not like that.
I have.
And that was it. That was it. She's read it. That was it.
I'm just saying maybe he didn't want to write it. I don't know. With Omar, thank you for the super chat. Can we acknowledge the best on-screen cameo appearance of the decade so far? Coach Brink on The Boys.
10 out of 10. Yes, 10 out of 10. I want Coach Brink in the rest of The Boys. Yes.
Oh man, it's been a good season of The Boys. It's been good.
It has been. When he showed up the first time, I actually texted Omar. I said, Omar, I cannot wait for you to watch episode 2 of The Boys because it has one of your favorite actors making a cameo. And he's like, mother ever. He's like, is it Octavia Spencer? I was like, no, but you're on the right track. Because he does not like Will Ferrell. But yes.
Are you watching The Boys this season, Lee?
I am not. I wait for the entire thing to come out and then watch it all at once.
That's a smart move.
Spoiler, but it's really good.
Oh yes.
Yeah, sure.
It's a great time with it. It's been silly.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah, did you watch this past week's episode?
Yeah.
So I think James even said it was like Old MacDonald had a farm, but like on steroids. That was a wild.
Oh, it's so good. Man, it's too real at all times, but I really like it. I love Generation V even more than all of The Boys.
I know, but now I'm sad because it won't be the same now that Chance Perdomo passed away. And which I know is unexpected. I mean, motorcycle accidents. Everyone, be safe out there, please.
Please wear your helmet.
Please wear your helmet.
That's all I ask.
Don't ride a motorcycle, but
I won't forget. Yeah, my father passed away in a motorcycle accident with no helmet, so I'm always just like, if you don't wear a helmet, at least we cannot talk.
Yeah,
that's just. My bar is there. We cannot be friends. I want to interact with you. Just do that one thing for me.
Yes.
And also don't show me Ghost Rider without telling me what it's about. That's a really poor humor, dark joke. But I remember some friends showing me that, and I was like, "Is he gonna die this month?" Like, yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, cool,
great,
cool, thanks,
thanks for the warning."
I've gone through therapy. I'm fine with it, but you get to make those jokes when stuff like that happens to you.
Exactly.
Tune in next week when we have Maddie watch the entirety of Sons of Anarchy live.
Oh gosh, yeah, right. That'll just be traumatizing on so many people.
Man.
Oh, CGN does not have a jingle? Well, then I guess I'm going to have to create one.
I'll have to call you from like on your way to the Ren Fair.
You want a Jeep? You want them now? Wait, I don't know. How long does it take for Jeep graphic novels to get to you? We'll make it work. I'll do it.
He said you could do your own thing.
I know. Started the bits felt very weak, but it got better the latest two episodes.
I mean The Boys.
Yeah, I agree. There are the only thing like some of the side character plots are, and that's what Bar's saying. Because I like Frenchie too, but they just don't know what to do with some of the side characters.
Yeah.
And it's what happens when you get a cast and it starts to get larger. What do you do with them?
I'm told that Mother's Milk's t-shirts are getting like better and better every episode. Almost like what's his name? Frank's hats in 30 Rock, how they're better every episode. And I have seen, this isn't a spoiler because I haven't actually seen the season. I see people constantly in my social circle predicting A-Train's imminent death. As a result of like some character development that he's doing on the show, because other characters have exhibited similar character development, which apparently led to their imminent deaths.
Yeah, I've kind of getting the same feeling for A-Train, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's also making an appearance in the
I
show.
love it.
Appearance in the show. I'm like, they just gonna throw everyone from Supernatural at some point into this.
Well, they said that maybe they're going to. They're supposed to get
Jared Padalecki, right?
Yeah, he said he wants to join, but don't he and oh god, I've forgotten his name. Don't Sam and Dean actually like not get along very well in real life?
I think they do.
Okay.
There's instances.
They might, yeah. My sister's seen them at like Supernatural cons together, but I don't know if that. I mean, that's also money, so they could be there because they have to be there. I don't know, but what's his name's gone now, I guess, so he'd be fine.
Yeah,
he died.
I guess when you're like brothers basically for 20 years.
Yes.
I would like to see Misha Collins as like a smarmy, sleazy PR executive.
That would be a good role for him. Yes. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Someone, when we were doing the review for the first 3 episodes, someone had mentioned, I don't remember who it was, if you are in the chat, they thought that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character was a figment of his imagination. And I'm now yep, you're right. You might be right. I'm beginning to think, like, especially this class, the way that he interacts with him, with the way Butcher interacts with him, especially this last episode, I was like, yeah.
And he is just like the other version of that guy.
Exactly. He blacks out. He can't remember what he did. And now he's seeing like this guy showing up and no one else is talking to him but like Butcher. And you get away with it earlier thinking like that one lady from the CIA they were working with, but I think it's yes. That was Silhouette Animator. There we go. Thanks, James. James knows all. That's what James is here for. Yes.
We are all Omar if you combine us. I know it's weird, but
what did you do?
Whenever Omar's not here, it's like a Voltron situation. He can't hold that form all the time.
No. Yeah.
So sometimes other people have to show up.
Just to make it work.
We have a really complicated fusion dance. It goes across races. I couldn't tell you why.
It doesn't make sense at all. There is arm flailing involved.
Yeah, it's messy. A lot of body horror.
A lot of body horror. That's awesome. So is Omar like the planet? Very much so. Yes, 100%. He collects all of us, and then we all do it. It's pretty work.
Yeah. Maddie, you're making promises we want now. They should have me on this show.
Oh, this is a good. Okay, so Bar said that the character doesn't. Yes, Becca's the angel on his shoulder, while that guy's the devil. That actually makes a lot of sense. There we go.
That'd be cool.
Exactly.
Man, sometimes I'll watch the show. I'm like, I can read The Boys. I'm like, no, actually, I can't. I can't read The Boys. I don't like it. But the show is really good, and there's so many examples of shows that really improve upon comics because people have time to like look at things later. Like, yeah, in the 90s, this was fine, right? But now we can make a show that is explores these issues better and is a little less offensive. And not like offensive is not always a bad thing because The Boys, the show is doing offensive, I think, well, right?
Yeah,
intentionally. It's not like there is some that's like shock factor, but I think there's some that's like, it's done well, and like Invincible, the comic book, the cartoon, I think really improved upon the comic book.
Oh yes, 100%.
Tremendously. I know there's a few others that are like that.
So Preacher, the show is better for me than the comic books are, right?
Yeah,
I remember we read The Preacher for.
Yeah, we did. We haven't gone back to that.
No,
I haven't finished it.
Yeah, we need to. We need to keep going with it, don't we? I think we only did like a first volume or something. But funny enough, Seth Rogen's involved in like multiple of these. He's
always there.
Yeah, he's always there in the background, just helping make this stuff relevant, which is fantastic. But I read Invincible, the comic, and I liked the show better. I have not read The Boys, but I don't know. With how graphic
I can do it.
I don't think I could go through with the comic books. I think I'm good with
the assault in it is so much worse. I think I just can't.
Yeah, there's way more like essay jokes and it's always played like for a gag too. So it's
kind of rough. Yeah. So
at least I feel like there's a chance people getting back at people and I don't know, like
I'd hope so.
It's easier for me to stomach. We're getting a little bit spooky, or a little spooky. Spoiler. I can't. Thank you for super chat. But Jeffrey D. Morgan's character gave Butcher the info about the soup virus. If imaginary, how could he receive the info? I don't know.
Unless he went and found it. I thought Butcher was in Gen V. Wasn't he in? Didn't he show up in an episode of Gen V?
I don't remember.
I thought he did. Now I have to go back and watch it. But I thought he did.
Oh, cool. Maddie, did you see Humble Bundle has IDW Godzilla 25 books for $18? Half Century Wars part of it. No, I'll have to think about getting it. I'm gonna buy the Turtles bundle. Elliot would like to come on Old Reader New Reader and do Last Ronin. So
Last Ronin, you mean Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to read that.
They're all on Humble Bundle right now. I got all of them
cheap.
for $25. I'm reading through them right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I've never been a big turtle I mean, I've watched like the movies, but I think I'd like the comic books.
They're excellent. These are really, really good. And I really love the Tinian Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah?
Those are actually very good for like wholesome Batman content.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What do you need to see besides Batman eating pizza with Leonardo and Raphael, right?
Done. That's all I needed to know.
That's good for me. I'm good with it.
I just want chill time, baby.
I
just want people to hang out.
That's all we want.
Still enjoy the 90s Tick cartoon. Oh, man, I miss him. You know, I love the Tick. Yeah. You ever watch the Tick growing up, Amanda?
No, I never. Well, I watched a couple episodes, but it wasn't like one of the cartoons that I gravitated towards when I was younger.
Man, where are the Freakazoid comic books? Are those the thing? Because I loved Freakazoid.
Freakazoid like permanently damaged my behavior on my report cards in elementary school.
Really? What happened with that?
I was one of those kids that would like imitate TV shows I saw to try to look cool or be funny or whatever. And Freakazoid was one that I kind of latched on to because I liked the humor and the fast talkingness of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't work so well with your third grade English teacher.
Yeah. I would say not, no.
I was really into Bill and Ted. So that was my I wrote a whole portfolio piece about how Bill and Ted changed my life because I decided to take on all of the vernacular of the movie. I was really cool.
We were all really cool back then, right?
Still are, obviously.
Still are, yes. Hey, I just had this morning when I was at the gym because yes, I did get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym.
Proud of you.
To work out. Thank you. I'm proud of myself because I did not want to go. But my coach was like, "What's the name of your channel again?" I was trying to look it up yesterday. I kept thinking Reels Talk. I'm like, "No, that's the name of my show, but the channel's Near Mint Condition." He's like, "Oh, I want to subscribe." I said, "Great, do that." That makes me happy if you did.
Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, you're only gonna see me typically on Tuesdays.
I was like, you'll see me a little bit.
Videos, but for the most part,
yes. I was like Wednesdays, and then depending on when a movie comes out, maybe a Friday.
Yeah,
because. Yeah. Oh, you look different. Who looks? Omar. He's about that. That's what. Phil. Phil. When's the last movie you've seen? Phil does not watch a lot of movies in theaters anymore, but I'm always curious if he will ever go and check something out if it's worth it.
Lee, we have a question. I realized I should introduce you to chat. I was just like, "Here's Lee. What's up?" So, want to give a little introduction? They're not used to seeing, they see you with me sometimes on Tuesday.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Lee. I'm a friend of Maddie's. We went to grad school together. We met back in grad school. Maddie will occasionally have me on Old Reader, New Reader on Tuesdays to talk about various comic books. I've been on the show probably 10 times in the course of the 4 or 5 years Maddie and I have been friends. So yeah, you can go back through the catalog of Old Reader, New Reader and find a few episodes. There's one excellent one where it's me, Maddie, Kristen, and Chris Schweitzer, and I am very high on post-back surgery pain medicines. I think I've got gabapentin, Oxycontin, and Vicodin in me all at the same time. And I'm trying to talk to Chris Schweitzer about Barbarian Lord of all comic books. That one's pretty good.
I like our Heroes in Crisis video. It was like, I think it was like a Saturday morning. It was random. I was like,
that's the first one we did. I'm in my apartment in Saudi Arabia. Whenever you had me on for
maybe that's what was early.
Crisis. Yeah,
that's wild. There's a lot to unpack there, Lee. I'm not gonna lie. Apartment in Saudi Arabia, a ton of back pain meds.
Yeah. So I've had a bunch of back surgeries over the years, just for genetic stuff or whatever. And then Maddie and I went to school. For those of you who don't know this, Maddie has a master's degree in international relations. She is a specialist in Japanese and Chinese culture and politics. My specialty was in intelligence and law enforcement, and whenever Maddie took over the position she did after grad school, I went to Saudi Arabia and worked for the Air Force in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years. And Maddie and I, we knew each other and would talk occasionally in grad school, but I wouldn't say we became friends until we graduated.
Yeah, you posted about comic books online.
Because I was posting about comic books, and we became friends that way. We also at one point co-authored a paper together about how you can use Mass Effect to teach people how to conduct effective diplomacy at one point. So that's how Maddie and I know each other and how I wind up on the show from time to time.
That's amazing.
Lee's my guy I call when I'm like, I need somebody who can describe this more eloquently than I can because I don't have the words. And so often I'll be reviewing something like, I wish Lee was here because he could tell you in the most beautiful words and that thick accent why this book is really good. And all I can do is be like, the word's good sometimes. You know what I mean?
You're like, pictures are pretty. Pretty pictures. Apparently, Lee, you've been on 15 Oliver Renewers thanks to our archivist, James.
James is the Excel sheet.
Yes. And if anyone does want to go and watch that Oliver Renew Reader, he has that link in the chat for you as well.
If you would also like to join my campaign to get Chris Schweitzer to marry me, I would appreciate that.
All right. Where's that Kickstarter at?
He's such a beautiful man. You know, you take like Ron from Parks and Rec, right? And then you just make him even cuter, but all the same woodworking capabilities. And he's
nicer.
And nicer
than Ron.
Oh, handsome man.
Yeah. I can't recommend talking to Chris at cons enough. He's so open and enthusiastic about talking to fans. And amazingly, he remembered me whenever I saw him at Cincinnati Comic-Con, I think several years ago. He's an incredibly talented artist, writer. You should go on his Patreon and commission him for original art. He used to teach martial arts. He's been, I think, an English teacher at one point. He's taught art for sure, and he's like a professional woodworker. And I may be like adding on to this, but I think he does taxidermy as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. Incredible guy, really incredible dude.
Yeah.
Phil Owens answered your question, Amanda.
Oh, nice.
Late Night with the Devil is excellent.
Did you see it, Amanda?
Good.
I did. Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so very good film.
Last one I saw was Batman
Still
Begins.
Makes it count. If you're gonna go to theaters, he makes it count.
I was going to ask if y'all have seen Furiosa.
Yes,
I did.
Did y'all do a Reels talk on it?
We did. Yeah, we did a Reels talk on it. It was pretty good. It was a little long in the middle, and I see where they were going with it. And I like Anya Taylor-Joy. What I wasn't expecting is that Anya Taylor-Joy wasn't in the entire movie. It was mostly she was about halfway through because that young girl. I mean, I didn't realize how much of her story was going to take up until we get to
the first third of the movie is about her mom, right?
Pretty much, right? Yeah. But then Chris Hemsworth, he plays such a good bad guy.
That's great.
He's doing something in that movie that's really interesting, right? I'm sure he loves Thor, fine, but he looks like Thor in the movie. He's kind of dressed in like leather armor with a cape or whatever, and he's got long hair. But he's doing this thing that's kind of effortless, where he is pompous and charismatic, but there's this wounded, insecure sociopath thing. And one of my favorite podcasts is the Blank Check podcast with Griffin and David. They do a bunch of directors who've been given blank checks to work on passion projects. They've done George Miller, and when they did this, their hypothesis is that the prosthetic nose Chris Hemsworth is wearing gives him this freedom where he doesn't feel like he has to be pretty. He doesn't feel like he has to be polished, and it gives him permission to do this. Anya Taylor-Joy is terrific in the movie, but Chris Hemsworth really does steal the show in that flick.
He really does.
I loved it. And I think the downfall of it is people want it to be another Fury Road, and I appreciated that it was using trappings from Fury Road without trying to do the same thing, right? Because you can't recreate Fury Road. There's no reason to try.
You can't. And I mean, and it's definitely a character study, and I think that's why it was an important film to have. And people are so mad it bombed the box office, but at the same time, the Mad Max films aren't known for being big.
These are not blockbusters,
No, they never were. I mean, Fury Road may be the most successful one, but also at the time it came out with it. Hadn't been a Mad Max film in years, and it had Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy, who was riding high on the Batman fame and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know what they were expecting. I wasn't expecting this to be Marvel level numbers by any means. Like even when Blade Runner came out, Blade Runner again, not a massive franchise, guys. Were we expecting it to make Marvel money? I don't know.
Yeah.
They just go. They do okay, I guess.
So this is like my least favorite thing about the way that Marvel and Star Wars have changed cinema. If a movie doesn't make $3 billion on its opening weekend now, it's considered a flop. And do you understand that if you went back in time to 1994 and walked up to a person and were like, in the future, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will star in a blockbuster superhero movie called Black Adam about a C-list side character in the Shazam comic books. This movie will have a $500 million budget and will make $1 billion at the box office over its entire run, and would be considered an abject failure. They would lock you in an insane asylum.
No, you're true. I mean,
for saying that's what the movie. Yeah, $1 billion is a number that movies make now. By the way, that's a reality in economics.
Yes, it doesn't have to make that much to be successful as long as they keep the budgets down. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, Marvel has completed everything.
This is how like Dune is sort of changing this paradigm, right? Denis comes in under budget. And he makes amazing looking, exciting, fun, meaningful films under budget. And then they make triple their production costs. And he pumps out hit after hit after hit, right? And every movie he's pumping out is amazing without paying out salaries that are like $58 million for side actors, right?
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad Godzilla did so well because like the budget was incredibly low.
Yes.
Yeah. They killed it. It was incredible.
Yeah. You just never know. I was thinking like if they made like, you know, everyone talks about The Mummy and that franchise. And of course it had diminishing results as time went on, but one would consider it very successful. But when you look at the box office opening for like The Mummy, it's only $43 million. Like, and that's what, like, I really like the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out. It was great. Yeah, right. I would love a sequel, but it didn't do well enough for them to, I guess, warrant a sequel, even though I thought Chris Pine was fantastic in it. And all those actors showed up and knew exactly what the kind of film they were making was. And it was great.
We can't make it up in DVD sales anymore, right?
Yeah, that's the big thing.
The Mummy blows up because they make up for that box office in DVD sale explosion. Yeah, why not buy this Indiana Jones?
Yeah, even like rental at the time,
oh, it's good. Yeah.
Like movie rental places that really helped. But like they knew they're like, okay, maybe the movie didn't make a lot now, but it'll make a lot later.
And the streaming margins now, it's the same thing with music. The streaming margins now don't allow to create that level of makeup for the box office shortfall like you used to get. Now, for things like Dungeons and Dragons, or I think of like Pacific Rim, right?
Yeah.
There's one possible saving grace now for a movie like that if you want to see it get a sequel, and that's the Chinese market, right?
That's
true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Occasionally, you will see films that flopped in the U.S., didn't do particularly well in the U.S., and all of a sudden you discover that they have like 2 or 3 sequels. That's because the Chinese box office buoyed them. Here in America, we thought they were bad movies. Overseas, they did quite well, and that market over there makes enough money that you can produce a sequel and count on it for money that way, right?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. The Chinese box office does play a big part these days. Globalization, everyone.
That's why I have so many Chinese actors in movies now, which is cool for me.
Yeah,
it's like
great. Yeah.
It has its drawbacks too, though. Now, like Jet Li and Jackie Chan are like party officials. I apologize if the Chinese Communist Party has sponsored your show.
They have not sponsored us.
And I am historically not a Jackie Chan fan.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. Yeah.
Because he has a whole daughter that he doesn't pay attention to, and then had a whole fake ad for himself where he's at a movie theater and his daughter walks up with him and they're watching clips from all of his movies. And she's like, "Oh my God, Dad, you made that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're kind of like this teary-eyed. It's beautiful. Yeah. Like, oh, this was wonderful. That's not his real daughter.
It's an actress playing his daughter.
Oh, dang.
He won't talk to his real daughter
who's gay that he does not talk to.
Yeah.
And also Michelle Yeoh was like, that man is the most masochist. She just misogynist man. Like, she does not like him. She's been very clear about it for decades.
That's amazing.
Michelle Yeoh, yes. Jackie Chan.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh
lost me.
Yeah.
Well,
you will not be seeing the new Karate Kid movie that's coming out then.
Yeah, I mean,
another one?
So this has additional issues that become really important, especially for like the type of stuff that we're talking about here. Like, for instance, a lot of people made a big deal about like the first gay kiss in Star Wars, right? And the Rise of Skywalker. And that scene is edited in such a way, and big budget studio films do this now. It's edited in such a way that it can be cut very easily for the foreign box office. If we want to show the film in Saudi Arabia, if we want to show the film in China or Russia, all we have to do is cut this 3-second thing. And then for the US crowd, we can say, oh, look how progressive we are. We threw in a 3-second cut of 2 women kissing each other. That can easily be just cut out for the other markets, so we can still rake in that cash as well, right?
Yeah,
thank you for the super chat, Bruce.
Yeah.
I love that dog, by the way. Except Black Adam's budget was over $300 million with marketing, made $300 million globally. Is considered absolute failure.
$93 million in profit is an abject disaster, right? For a C-list character that I hadn't heard of until I read the Injustice comics.
I did not hear about it until I kept seeing all the memes about him being Black Adam. Like, I didn't know.
Bummer. Because we have Dr. Fate in that movie. I love Dr.
I know. Well, Pierce Brosnan. Man after my own heart. All right. It is 12:30, so I have to jet set to Ren Fair.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Have fun, Ren Fair.
Drive safe.
All right, chat. Have a great day. And I will see you guys soon. Lee, Maddie, always a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you for joining me. I was worried when she was like, I have to go to the Ren Fair. And I was like, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. I'm not on Paymedicine right now because I don't want to be loopy.
Oh. So are you in a lot of discomfort then?
Just a lot of pressure.
Okay.
For people who join later, I had no surgery on Tuesday to remove polyps. Were the largest my doctor's ever seen. She's like, I've been doing this forever. These are the largest ones I've ever seen. I was like, do I get a trophy or like a sticker?
F in chat for Maddie's nose polyps.
But apparently, I haven't smelled consistently for 3 years. So that was part of the deal. So it should come back, which is super exciting. And my voice might change as well. So I already can tell my singing voice is coming back a little bit. I used to sing a lot. I do so less. But I was singing the other day. I was like, oh my God, is that me?
Ooh.
So I've got karaoke on Wednesday for my birthday. So I'm really... It's an early birthday present for me, dealing with this. I won't be able to drink next week, I don't believe. So,
yeah.
But, there's no bruising or anything. So
doctors just say that. There's no reason to think that you have to actually follow that. Why not chase your surgery, antibiotics, and pain meds with 4 cups of peach soju, right? There's no reason.
Well, she was like, so you've got this, and you have asthma, right? I was like, yeah, I've got asthma. She's like, weird question. Do you get really congested when you take like Advil or drink alcohol? And I was like, how did you know? She's like, you're one of those really rare people that this happens to. I'm like, thanks. Because everybody else is like, oh, I can't drink. I'll get a hangover. I'm like, I'll have the sniffles.
You walk around sounding like Moose for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, my pug, yes. Who is now completely blind, by the way. Next time we come over. Very funny. It's sad. But anyway, so that's why I'm a little off. But let's talk some comic books, everybody. What's up? I did tell Amanda at the beginning of the show that new Suicide Squad Isekai anime is really good.
Okay. I haven't watched it yet, but I was a little bit like, how many animated versions of Harley Quinn do I need? Because I've done it in the Suicide Squad cartoons. I've done it in the Harley Quinn cartoon TV show, and now that we've got like that, how many cartoon versions of Harley Quinn?
This it's so good. Honestly, animation's great. Right. It's got a Cowboy Bebop like soundtrack. The ending theme is the Suicide Squad posing differently, while Amanda Waller's just like breaking it down.
Okay.
It's really dumb. And I really like it. Only the first 3 episodes are out right now, but
fair enough.
I've been a big anime manga kick, so that's just kind of I've read and watched some very, very good anime and manga recently that really kind of pulled me back in.
I've been reading and watching some very bad ones lately.
No, what are you reading and watching?
I tried to redo Dragon Ball Z. I guess I was watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. It does not hold up from when you were a kid. I am hating Grimm. Is it Grimm Variations?
Yeah,
I am hating those.
There's a couple episodes I liked in it. There's a lot that don't deliver.
The new Castlevania spinoff is not up to snuff. All right, I'm about to start Monster. And I did recently, I'm like halfway through watching 7 Deadly Sins, which is my girlfriend's favorite anime, right?
That one deteriorates quickly.
Oh, no. It's pretty good through season 2 so far.
Yeah, season 1 and 2, you're like, wow, the animation's so good. I'm having such a great time. And they're like, what if we cut this animation budget in like half at least? And it gets so bad. And I'm telling you that as a huge fan. But when you're ready, come to me and I'll be like, here is what are my 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
1, Delicious in Dungeon. It's already on Netflix. Watch Monster first, because Monster is the top.
Okay.
The book, I have all. You can borrow it. Incredible. Anime, incredible. Same with Pluto. That's also by him. Very good. You're going to watch it. You're going to be like, you're going to want to talk about it and delve into all the intricacies, and you and I are going to have a great time. Okay. It can be a hard sell when I show Elliot, because it's just a bunch. It's slower at the beginning, but you're building up some complicated characters, some fun diplomacy, right? Because we are in like early 90s Germany. Very cool. So you got to deal with the wall and all of that stuff.
Yeah, right. I have been told several times to try Trigun.
I like Trigun. I don't know how it holds up.
Okay.
I've written Trigun fan fiction. That's still on the internet.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. But lately, Delicious in Dungeon, I think you'd like. It's a really good mix of funny and serious. And also seeing a dungeon as like a holistic ecosystem. What does that look like with the monsters and flora and fauna there? Frieren, incredible, about an elf who was part of this adventuring party that saved the world. They defeat the Demon King. They save the world. But she's an elf. The rest of her members of the party, there's 2 humans and a dwarf. So naturally, she's outlived it. In the first episode, one of them is already dead. It starts with the death of the hero of the party, Himmel. And then the rest of the story is like how many years after this person's death. And she doesn't know what it means to her, really, because she couldn't be emotionally there at that time. And now she's revisiting the steps as she went and kind of learning more about herself. While also having some new adventuring party members. How do you live on? And what do memories mean to you when you live 1,000 years? You know?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I recommend those are like that.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Dungeon. I think you'd like. I think you and I could talk for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I see these things. I'm like, I want Lee to just come over and we just have, I don't know, a drink, and we're just like, and what does this mean?
My girlfriend, whose name I'm refraining from mentioning like live on the internet, she's an opera teacher here where we live, and is an opera expert and a scholar, right? And she recently discovered that all of the Wagner ring cycle operas, which are based on like Norse mythology stories and then become the basis for the Lord of the Rings. There's like 4 or 5 operas of these. It's where the Ride of the Valkyries comes from, right? Somebody did a manga version of all of those operas, and they are actually better than the operas themselves, right? I'm talking to her about us doing a potential podcast with us because one thing she likes to do is show me operas on the Metropolitan Live app. And I'm a Luddite. I'm a pleb, right? I know nothing about opera. So I'm watching what is supposed to be like Mozart's masterpiece of artistic achievement. And I'm like, this guy needed an editor to tell him to like get off his bullshit, stop sniffing his own farts, and like cut 45 minutes off this bad boy. This thing started at 6. There's no reason for us to be here by 11.
Also, we don't curse on this show, on this one.
Apologies.
That's okay.
Oh.
That was a low one, so it's okay.
My bad.
That's all right. I forgot to, so I'm just going to tell you.
I do need that warning, chat, for sure.
Yeah, if it's a Tuesday over in New Year, we're like, whatever. It's late. What do you think of the Your Name anime? I loved it. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't heard of this.
So I'll have to give you a play-by-play of one of these. So outside of Studio Ghibli, that's like obviously like if you think of Japanese animated films, that's the one.
Sure.
There are a couple other directors that are very good. Mamoru Hosoda, who I learned about first from Digimon the movie. He's done incredible work since then. I shouldn't name that as his top achievement. Okay. I love that movie.
It's fine. Go for it.
Belle was the recent one, was really good. And there's Mamoru Hosoda, which did Your Name, which ended up being huge here. Beautiful movie. But I loved it. Lee would enjoy Vinland Saga. It's Vikings. Okay. I think it's on Netflix now. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's really good.
Fair enough.
Oh, yes. The cursing ruins is not the fairy smut talk. That was before you got here. I literally have one of the Iceland Barbarian books in front of me. What are you going to do? But at the same time, there's a Star Wars manga right next to it. So I'm a cultured woman, okay?
And chat, I will pay $200 for anyone who can find the not safe for work fan fiction that Maddie has written on the internet.
No, they're appropriate. I wrote them when I was 14. It's okay. I did write a self-insert Silent Hill fan fiction because I was so obsessed with it. I was like, what if I was transported to this world, and what would I do in this?
Yeah.
I never finished it. But...
I am ashamed to say that I wrote 2 self-insert fan fictions whenever I was around that age, between the ages of 12 and 14. One in the Final Fantasy VII universe where I was dating Tiff, hooray. And then another one was for Dead or Alive, the fighting game with all the ladies in bikinis, right?
I only ever played Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
Yeah. It's a good mode. Yeah.
That's pretty indicative of my sexuality, I think, which I like to bring up because I get a lot of heat sometimes being a female comic book reviewer, and I'll be like, oh, this one is a little much. They couldn't have done, and they're like, you just don't get it.
Everyone assumes you're a prude, yeah.
And I'm like, that's very much incorrect. But I do see when something is done well, and when something is so male gaze, it's just not good. You know what I mean? Vampirella is one of those, unfortunately. Yeah. She deserves better. I think she's a really cool character. Stop. The costumes don't work that way. I'm a cosplayer. I can tell you. They don't work that way. It doesn't make sense. Please. Oh, yeah. Don't be ashamed of it. Embrace it. I used to be obsessed with Justin Bieber fan fictions.
Excellent. I never wrote one about real people, but that's an interesting concept because I could write one where Chris Schweitzer and I were friends. Could his people send me like a cease and desist for writing?
I mean, I know a lot of people that were into bands. I think if Amanda was here, we could talk about it. Back when, the early emo days, I guess, Fall Out Boy just came out.
Yeah,
My Chemical Romance. I knew a lot of girls that wrote fan fiction about the people in the bands, which I thought was incredibly innovative because they put them together. It's not like you and that person, right? And this like fantastical, they would like ship them. And I'm like, did you guys hear that My Hero Academia is ending? Did every reader watch it? I'm trying to get into it. I did at the beginning. I watched it and I really, really liked it. Because superheroes, but manga, right? But it did start to fall off for me. And I think maybe that happened to a lot of people. So I can't speak to whether it continued to be good or not. I literally have. I'm using. Don't judge me. This is my mouse pad because I love. Listen, I like big, strong ladies all the time, right? But the men that I like, on a lot of like fiction, especially anime, I like them dumb.
Yeah, you like shredded himbos.
I like a shredded himbo. I want them to be dumb and also very caring. You know, like big muscly guys that look like they're like, you know, in biker gangs, but they can sew stuffed animals and they're really good at baking. Like that's kind of what that's my style of men I like. And then the women, I want them to be really muscly and could like destroy. That's what I want.
Not to take us away from My Hero Academia. Have you seen Rome, the HBO TV series? Rome? There's 2 series, and you should watch it because the central premise of Rome is 2 centurions in Julius Caesar's legions go from hating each other to being best friends / blood brothers. One of them is played by Dr. Owen Hunt from Grey's Anatomy, right? The redheaded doctor from Grey's Anatomy. The other is Ray Stevenson.
That looks familiar.
So Dr. Hunt plays this like super serious.
Oh, the guy that was all rest in peace.
Yeah. So the guy from Grey's Anatomy, he plays a guy who's like super serious, no nonsense, has no joy, and Ray Stevenson plays like his big dumb sidekick who like likes small animals and also killing people in battle. And the premise, I think I heard Chris Schweitzer tweet about this once.
Yeah.
The premise of this show is, what if Samwise Gamgee, who is Ray Stevenson's analog character, his name's Titus Pullo, what if Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings was a homicidal maniac in addition to being like brave and loving and sweet? And that's Ray Stevenson's character in Rome. You would love his character.
I'm in.
Back to My Hero Academia. I have seen 2 episodes of it because my niece absolutely loves it. And I think I've watched probably 150 hours of her playing one of the video games. I'm assuming they have like a fighting
Oh, yeah, they all do.
And I've watched her play that probably for 150 hours. But I haven't read it, and I don't know anything about the plot or anything. It looks good.
I liked what I read. The problem is I watched the anime, I really liked it, and so I did what I tend to do. And I go ahead and jump on Shonen Jump app, right?
Yeah.
I've reached my maximum of 100 chapters a day. And so I read up and I caught up. But the problem is once you catch up, you have to remember to keep reading. And I'm not going to watch the anime then because I've already read it. And so then I fall off completely. But I've cosplayed from it. I cosplayed Suyu. She's the frog one.
Okay.
And I loved All Might, but yeah, I think I kept hearing people that it was kind of falling off, and that's a struggle with a lot of long running series. The good thing about long running series in Japan is you have the same author the whole time, and so unlike a lot of times in America, we can't always. A lot of our creators don't have the opportunity to be in charge of a series for a long time unless they're like really established, right? But that can be good and bad in Japan. One, you get to write a story that's yours, like Monster, right? That gets to happen there. Yeah. But downside is something like My Hero Academia also has stresses from the publisher. Because like, well, we want you to get this out weekly for the weekly Shonen Jump magazine. And so sometimes there's extra pressures there that you may not get, you'll have to add in more stuff that maybe you didn't really want to. It's not really adding. So it can kind of forcibly affect you to lose stuff. One Piece is exception from this. One Piece is still good.
Oh God! Really?
It's a hard sell.
3,000 episodes later.
Honestly, the world building is incredible, and I will attest to that. It feels like a cult once you're in it, because it is so good, and you're like, I get it. It's hard for me to tell you to read this whole Bible, but my Lord and Savior, Monkey D. Luffy, he's really good. And
I have
the world
seen
building is
20
incredible.
episodes.
Yeah, and I can't even recommend to start at the beginning. To honestly, I can't for me. I tried and I was like, no. I had to start later and get into it and then go back and watch main things, right? Because I was like, I don't care now. But you start me,
Yeah. As much as I like
episodes
pirates, you would think I would be obsessed with it, but yeah, maybe I started at the wrong place.
You need to start when there's a lot of trauma. You get some like really traumatic backstories, and then you're like, oh well, now I have to stay. You mean her whole island was blown up in front of her when she was a kid? You mean this man ate a devil fruit that basically makes it so he continues to live? So he's playing music while all of his pirate crew dies around him, and he has to live on that boat alone for 50 years as a skeleton man? What? I'm sorry. There's a world government that's trying to control its people and spread lies and propaganda. Excuse. Incredible. Oh, sorry. Which fall into which cat? Oh, and my crushes? That's a good question. There's not as many. Because I tend to like them fictionally that way and not real life that way. Which is silly.
No.
I don't tend to be if a real life I'm not into like a lot of muscles on men.
Yeah.
I tend to it's like I like a dad bod sort of. I like I guess you could say functional muscles. So David Harbour is a good example for me. That's what I like. When he got really like toned up, I was like, this is not my man anymore. I want it to look like he can chop wood, right? And not that he's been like faking it.
Yeah.
Big muscle lays, it's harder because there's not as many. Or if they do, they have very awful opinions. So, oh my god, get out of here. Yes, you're a good example, but you're not an MCU actor. Have you already gushed about? Okay, let me tell you about Apothecary Diaries. We just finished it yesterday. I cried my eyes out. The manga is very good. I'm reading it right now. It's set in a fictionalized version of Imperial China. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at like the emperor, the 4 consorts, aka like the 4 main courtesans.
Yeah, sure.
And so it very much mirrors what real life was like. So you have like the inner palace politics, which I love. Yeah. You have like no men are allowed in the rear palace, just eunuchs, right? So what does that look like? And this girl, she's kidnapped one day and brought into the palace. And so, because at that point, in this place, a family could say, "Oh, she's related to us, and we're just selling her here," but really they've kidnapped her. But what they don't know at the palace is she's literate. She grew up in the pleasure district. Not as like she's a small little runt-looking girl. She's really weird. Her adopted father ran an apothecary. He's incredibly excelled at that, like studied abroad and everything. So she's very interested in poisons. Like that's her interest, poisons and medicines. And so she ends up becoming kind of invaluable because she's showing different people. She's solving mysteries around the palace, and she's like, if there's like a death there, she's like, this is why. And so you need to make sure this thing may not seem like poison, but if you do this, it is then a poison, right? Okay. She becomes a food tester for like one of the emperor's favorite courtesan. And which other people are like, oh, that's like a death sentence. You're the food taster. She's like, this is great. I love ingesting poison. It's my favorite. And so she'll eat something and be like, and she'll have this like look of elation on her face. And like, what is happening?
So people like constantly trying to poison the course?
It happens. But she's like, she looks so excited, right? And she's like, oh, this is delicious. And then she's like, oh, it's poison. I got to go. And people don't believe her. So like, go try the poison. They'll get sick. And she's like, no, it was poison. I just love it. It's my favorite. And it's really, really good.
All right.
The strategy in it. I love a nice like weekly like mystery sort of deal. And she's just weird. This is okay. This is all headcanon. Okay, I am autistic. I'll say the kind where we say a touch of autism, right? It's not it's a spectrum, right? She feels very autistic to me. So is the main character of Fear, and so is the main character of Blisters and Dungeon. I think there's just a trend of characters that have like hyper fixations on things that are very weird, and they don't know how to read a room always. And I'm living for this. Love it. Anyways. 9 minute one. Oh yeah, I guess I can go ahead and do the ad first, and then we'll answer a couple questions. So I got my last ad. To this one, he wrote, "You can do your own thing." Okay. He gave me a little file I had to read. So our last sponsor for today is cheapgraphicnovels.com, one that we've talked about very often on this channel. A very favored website of ours here on Near Mint Condition. You can get your books up to 50% off in great condition. And if you mention NFC at checkout, you get free shipping on your next order after your first. So definitely check them out. They have great deals. It's one of those that I always point people to.
Their shipping is incredible. Their customer service is also very good. One time I received a book that was listed as new, and whenever I got it, one of the pages had been dog-eared, and I was like, yo, this isn't a new book. Instead of cutting me a discount or giving me a coupon or anything, they just straight up refunded the book, right? Excellent customer service. And the packaging, the German comic book seller you were talking about mentioned bulletproof packaging. The packaging that Cheap Graphic Novels sends a floppy to your house in, you could use that as a shield against riot police at a protest, right? That's
I believe it.
Good quality it is.
Which is so needed because these books are so expensive and they're heavy and they're particular.
Yeah.
That's important. Oh, nice. We tell people they can send bookmarks to the P.O. box. We're out here dogging your books because we can't find our bookmarks, right? Yeah. A lot of times I'm using receipts or stickers.
Yeah, if I can mention Chris Schweitzer again, I bought a bunch of these off of him. They are little cards. They're almost like little tarot cards of Appalachian cryptids that have little stories about them and art related to them. He sells these whenever he goes to cons. I have 30 of these. This one is cornies, which appear to be little gnomes made out of ears of corn, and they have spears and I use those because he sells them in a pack of 80. So I tend to use those as bookmarks because they're on good quality card paper, right?
I guess a question for you, Lee.
Not always, but its highs are frequent and good and long enough that it's worth reading all the way through. And it has the best ending of any comic book that I know of. It's my favorite ending in the medium. Is the end of BPRD Devil You Know, right?
I still haven't read any.
They are all good. They alternate between Monster of the Week type investigations, and they're also overarching things that they're working through, right? But they round out and finish a bunch of lines that are left from the main Hellboy series. They expand a lot. I've heard people say that the Ape Sapien and BPRD books are actually better than the main line of the Hellboy series. I don't know if I would go that far, but they are just as good. Great character building. Several of the characters I have a really deep love for, and the friendship writing, the writing about how these people are friends is just really good. If you what's a good show from your childhood that you could watch after school and it made you feel like you were friends with them?
Oh man, there's so many.
Yeah, it's got that type of a vibe. They write the friendship between these people so well that you feel part of the group.
You can say hell.
Oh, because I said
no,
Heck Boy. Excuse me, Heck Boy.
I love Elliot so much. Arthur, I loved Arthur. Yeah, Arthur is good. That's definitely
yes.
Omar is in Japan right now. So Omar and Melanie and Tina and Heather and the most of the LWSO family except for Amanda, she's here. They're in Japan right now. I would have bought tickets to go in April because I couldn't wait.
They're filming season 2 of Shogun right now.
That's what Omar's doing. Yeah. Surprise! We should have told you that. We should say something like that because we don't get around oh my god, it's Omar. No, it's not. No cousin. Why does I laugh so much? I like Bar's comment about your dog-eared page. Maybe Amanda got the book before you did.
Yeah, the expensive ones do not get dog-eared, but cheap ones do for sure.
Yeah, a lot of my if it's if it's like a prose novel, it's because of the paper.
Yeah.
I feel okay with it.
Some books are written on bad paper, right? Like this, you're going to tell me I can't dog ear this? You can see light through it if you hold it up. Like, there's no reason not to dog ear that paper.
Okay, so let's be our last question. So what is BPRD? People haven't read.
Okay. BPRD is the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. It is they're the not the X-Men. They're the Men in Black. They're a supernatural police force. They're the Ghostbusters. They're like Take Your Poison, right? They're an organized agency that fights monsters and ghosts and creatures from folklore. The BPRD series is about the people that Hellboy works with, his friends and colleagues and everybody. It expands out their stories because I don't want to get too spoilery. Hellboy has a journey that is both a part of the BPRD and then he has a journey that's outside of them. And while he's doing the part of his journey that is outside of them, they wrote these comic books to fill in what all of his friends are doing while he's off doing those adventures, right? So Hellboy's more of like a mythological Viking saga type mythological figure that's like ethereal and like beyond our realm. And BPRD is much more down to earth. It's got a very good like X-Files vibe where like they're regular people who are like being forced to deal with like monsters from other universes and they feel very tired and very put upon and like, are you kidding me? Like it's very, very good. But yeah, the BPRD series is about those. And then when they round out here at the end with Heck on Earth and The Devil You Know, that they round out the threads that are sort of left over from the Hellboy series. But yeah, it's about a bunch of people who you could consider being similar to the X-Files or the Men in Black, dealing with monsters and folklore and cryptid type creatures as they come up and attack people.
Yeah. I'll accept Heck Fella.
Heck Fella.
That's my husband, everybody. I hit 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Lee.
And of course.
It's been fun. I like the Saturday shows are nice because it's just chill. It's a good time. I should give the spiel, right? I hope you like this video, everybody. Comment down below if you have thoughts about things, I guess. If you're not subscribed, I'm really surprised. I hope you watch more videos. I'll be back on Tuesday reviewing On a Sunbeam with Peter, aka Crushing Crisis, who never read it, and Kristen. A lot of this month is up in the air. I think probably when you're free as well, you want to read Last Ronin.
I'm traveling for work most of July, but yeah, I'm happy to try to come on sometime to do any of the Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff as I'm reading through that.
I don't want to keep you out of it. And yeah, because I'll be here on the Tuesdays. My nose should heal, so maybe by next time you see me, my voice will be different. We'll see. Thank you guys. This has been great. I was worried I would be like, ugh, but honestly, I think this gave me some energy. So thank you guys, and see you around next time. Bye.